Reaper of the Wild, Carnan!
Who do you call to?
Hello and welcome back to part 3 of Shadow of War. So, in the last video you saw me doing some of the story missions, and this is a particular story mission here on a completely new region of the map. So this time I'm against this thing in the forest which is called the Spirit of Carnan, and what it does is it takes on forms of different beasts, and it also tells you about the elemental enemies. Later on in the game you can see elemental graugs and drakes, and they have their own kind of special abilities depending on which type of the region you find them in. It's like a mini boss fight, so you fight 3 beast forms. So you fight Caragor form, Graug form, and a Drake form of this weird forest creature. The boss fight can be a little bit tricky because there's nothing to try and heal you, so you really have to kind of rely on your own skills to be able to get out of this alive. But it's interesting to see these little boss battles, and I don't remember there being orcs there last time. I think probably because that Graug just killed them straight away, but that's probably how you get the health back. But that would explain why I'm almost dead in this playthrough when I really should have drained them, but never mind. The fact no, I probably couldn't because he was about to kill me. But anyway, I'll do the last chance and I'll come back from this. I'm playing on the normal mode difficulty, which does give you a few last chances. I think on the Nemesis mode you do only have one last chance, and then of course you've also got the captains that can instantly kill you, ignoring the last chance. So yeah, you do have to be careful of that sometimes. Right, so this fire is annoying. I think, as far as I know, it's just normal fire, but it just looks green because it's like a forest spirit or something. There's not really a lot you can do that'll help you in this quest. You basically just pick up as many arrows as you can. Don't leave the area, of course, otherwise you'll fail the mission and you'll have to start all over again. The mini-map can help you a bit with finding the arrows and shows you where the enemy is going to be. For the Graug, he's most likely either going to breathe fire on you, I think that's what he's doing, and he can possibly, yeah, he's throwing some kind of like fiery meteor-y things at you actually, and that's different to the normal bowlers. And I've just taken down the Graug form here, so you can see it's kind of like a normal Graug, but obviously the forest's got like a foresty texture to it, like bark and leaves and things. And here's the Drake. So the Drake is the strongest form, and it's going to take you a while to try and kill because of how much health it's got and because of its attack pans. Because what it'll do is it'll fly around the map, it'll stop for a bit, and then it'll breathe fire on a large part of the map, and it also tries to throw fireballs at you as well, and those can hurt quite a lot, so you do have to watch yourself on here. As far as I know, there's no kind of quick way of beating this. You basically just have to whittle the health down quite a lot. You can't dominate the beasts either, so you can't take them over, as far as I know. And this map is quite interesting actually. It's completely different to any other part of the game. I think this is like a really dense jungle forest area. It's a bit different from the main map where you control the orcs. That's more, it's got more like an Aztec kind of feel, even though it's a bit different for a Lord of the Rings game, but still it's pretty cool. Well, a Middle Earth game, as it will. They decided to go on their own tangent with the storyline, but it seems quite good anyway. Right, so I'm down to my last life here, so I am struggling, but I do manage to beat it eventually. Also in this area you can't summon in the orcs, and you can't summon in your own Graug either, or your own Caragor even. That was good because I decided to stay on the map. You'll notice my character's armour changes quite a bit on these videos. It's mainly because I'm picking up a better piece of equipment. Hopefully by the end of the game I'll have decided on a good set of armour to use.
So now I'm gonna kill you, for all these orcs to see.
Always said you were an optimist. Know what that is, mate? It's about sizing up a situation that's bloody impossible and saying, yeah, alright, I'll have a go. I'm exactly the same way.
And then it's just a little cutscene, and then I'm back to this, which is a pit fight. So here we see 2 orcs going against each other, This is the introduction to the domination ability, which you regain in Act 2 by retrieving the ring that Celebrimbo made. So just going to watch a little pit battle, and then we'll try and get to dominate Bruz, who is quite an interesting character. Hopefully you'll like him as much as I do. Yeah, so the O-log enemies are interesting. So instead of being able to jump on them, because they're too big, you actually, when you press A to dodge, you actually slide through their legs.
Reckon you're going to skewer me?
And also, when you do the B move to shock them, it doesn't always work, so you have to try and either wait for the time prompt or try and catch them when they're unawares. You can shoot them with arrows. It's going to take a bit more than a normal look, but that is possible. And for the captains, you just have to kind of play to their weaknesses if they have any. Otherwise, try and get your own captains to fight them and just hopefully back up your captains, and if you stick with it, hopefully you'll be able to beat them. So this is just a little kind of arena battle. We've got other orcs coming in, they're not going to be much of a bother. Main objective here obviously is to break Bruz in terms of lowering his health, and then that allows you to dominate him. So kind of like Pokemon, but with a bit more of an adult kind of theme to it. So let's try and get rid of these nasty orcs. Probably noticed when I press B now I'm using a frost ability. So the three main elements in the game, you've got the fire, you've got the frost, and you've got poison. Also, if you mix the poison with a grog barrel and set it on fire, then you create what's called a bale fire, which is a mix of fire and poison, which is quite cool. And there's also other stuff as well you can see in the game, like there's some cursed abilities as well, so that's like its own element in itself. Plus we've got other things like beasts, spiders, etc. But I'll go into that in more detail when we get there. And here I'm just dominating a few of these guys to help me fight the enemies, so they can offer a distraction and hopefully will make it a lot easier for me to come. Just go and do some dodges and attack him with ice. And these are arrow proof, which means these are completely useless, the throwing daggers and the bow, unfortunately. But I can still attack him with my sword. The sword, there's no enemies that are actually invulnerable to the sword. Obviously the guys with the shield you'll have to get around, but you can do that. Also the wraith attacks are mainly unstoppable, although some of them can be blocked depending on if the enemy adapts to your moves. And I am almost about done with this fight. I actually got my hit counter quite high in this game. You'll notice when your hit counter on the top right of the minimap is high, you do more damage.
You serve the bright Lord now.
Right Lord, Dark Lord. Same thing really. End results me ripping spines out, which I like to do anyway, so either way's a win.
You're looking scrawny. I don't know if there'll be enough of you to go around all my pegs. What a disappointment.
And for the end of this video, I'll leave you with some footage of me fighting and battling a few of the other Warchief captains. See you in the next episode.
Anyone touch supplies, kill! Anyone come near supplies, kill! Anyone look at supplies, deep wound. Warning.
Well, look there! A supply cache. Who's up for some forcible requisitioning? Manduel! So you're the source of all this mayhem in Mordor. I am the alchemist, and it's my job to bottle all that fury. You will fuel the Dark Lord's army, though you may have to die first.
Too much talk. Ready to kill.
nothing personal.
Yeah, more of those!
You truly are a riddle, Grey Walker. Die and rise, die and rise. You are the poison and the cure.